Good afternoon, and welcome to the 123rd Annual Helen Hayes Hospital Honors Assembly. My name is Ed Coletti, and I am honored to stand before you tonight as the CEO of this incredible institution. A place where hope is restored, strength is renewed, and lives are transformed. Together we come together to celebrate the remarkable rehab journeys of 6 extraordinary individuals who have defied the odds and emerged as beacons of inspiration. These honorees have faced obstacles that many would deem unsurmountable, yet they have chosen a path of resilience, determination, and faith in their own abilities. Through countless hours of therapy and hard work, supported by our remarkable staff and their families, they have shown us the human spirit is unbreakable. The stories you will hear today are as diverse as they are inspiring. From regaining independence after a devastating accident to persevering through chronic illness, our honorees' achievements are a testament to their tremendous bravery and strength. Putting trust in their care teams, they have pushed beyond perceived limitations in the pursuit of their goals. They embody life-changing power of rehab, and we thank them all for allowing us to be part of their journeys. We also extend our gratitude to the families and friends gathered here today. Your unwavering support and encouragement have been instrumental in our honorees' recoveries. Thank you as well to our dedicated staff, who prove daily that rehab is much more than medical care. It is also the provision of hope, compassion, and community. Finally, we are grateful to the many friends of the hospital who support our patients and staff, including the New York State Department of Health and the Helen Hayes Hospital Board of Visitors, Foundation, and Volunteer Corps. I'm pleased now to begin our awards presentation. We start with the Helen Hayes MacArthur Rose Award, which is presented to a patient whose love of life and concern for others has made a difference in the lives of our patients and staff. Christina Gray, Lori Tillinghast, and Karen Blackley, and Danielle Jean Francois from our brain injury unit will present this award.
The Helen Hayes MacArthur Rose Award is presented to a truly special person who not only exhibits remarkable strength in their own recovery, but who shares their strength and friendship with others facing similar challenges. Like our namesake, Helen Hayes MacArthur, Michael, also known as Mikey, has been a beacon of hope and friendship for all those he has met at Helen Hayes Hospital, and he is very deserving of this special honor. In August of 2022, Mikey was tragically hit by a motor vehicle. This accident left him with a traumatic brain injury, multiple fractures and injuries to his spine, a left clavicle fracture, bilateral tibia fractures, and bilateral nerve injuries below the knees. Mikey was initially admitted to Helen Hayes Hospital under the New York State Neuro Recovery Program, which meant he was in a minimally conscious state. He presented with quadriplegia, a tracheostomy tube to help him breathe, and a PEG tube, which he was being fed through, all with a cervical collar in place. He was completely dependent and had no active movement in any part of his body except his eyes. He was unable to communicate or produce voice. He was only responding to auditory startle, visual fixation, mouth closure when presented with a stimuli, and eyes opening without stimulation. Mikey was also suffering from bouts of vomiting during his first few weeks at Helen Hayes Hospital, and in October, he was transferred back to acute care where he was found to have had gastroparesis.
When Mikey was readmitted to Helen Hayes in November, he truly began to progress. While he was still dealing with the nausea, he was no longer under the New York State Neuro Recovery Program. He had the tracheostomy tube removed and was communicating with few words and answering yes/no questions with very small head nods. but continued to have mild to moderate cognitive linguistic deficits in a variety of areas. The cervical collar came off, he began to put weight through his legs, and he was able to initiate movements with his right arm. Mikey also started to complete tasks such as feeding himself, brushing his teeth, speaking loudly, and sitting upright. His height of 6'7" was an added challenge, but the staff worked diligently to figure out what equipment would work best for him. Mikey's surgeries were not completed until about halfway through his stay at Helen Hayes. In February of 2023, he had surgery to lengthen his Achilles tendons and hamstrings, which left him in bilateral full leg casts for weeks. Once he was able to remove the casts, his progress accelerated tremendously. He began to stand and walk using a platform walker. He was able to wash and dress himself. Mikey also graduated from speech therapy, which was truly a remarkable accomplishment. Despite Mikey's many challenges and medical complications, he always found a way to make patients smile. For being one of the youngest patients here at 16 years old, he was always focusing on the positive in himself, in other patients, and in staff members he encountered. He made friends quickly with other patients, whether in the therapy gym or recreational group programs. He knew everybody by name and even introduced his therapists to patients and staff members. Mikey also knew all staff he encountered by name and always made sure to say hi and give them hugs whenever he saw them in the hallway.
Throughout his 9-month stay, Mikey continued to encourage and support countless patients to work hard every day. He became fast friends with Kadeem, who you will hear about later. They made a unique greeting to one another every time they saw each other that they referred to as their bro call. He would encourage other patients to participate in therapy. He was also cheering on patients all the time in therapy. Despite what they were working on, he made it his business to help some patients who were confused feel at ease and even help them to remember things. At one point, Mikey witnessed a patient in the parallel bars who was frustrated during his therapy and didn't want to participate. We were wheeling Mikey out of the therapy gym because at that time he was unable to wheel himself. Mikey asked the therapist to turn the wheelchair around and to approach the patient so that he could encourage him. He approached this man and he said, "You can do this. I know that you can." The older patient looked at Mikey and there was an unspoken language that he could relate to seeing a teenager in a wheelchair. That patient immediately attempted to pull himself up in the bars. Mikey worked so hard each and every day and never gave up despite the challenges that he experienced. On June 30th of 2023, he was discharged home with his family. He required only minimal assistance for walking and getting dressed, and he was at his baseline cognitively. He was also attending classes of his junior year of high school while at Helen Hayes Hospital, and took his Regents exams during his stay. We tried to help Mikey study for his history Regents. We Googled the questions, but quickly realized that we were unable to answer them, and we did not have an answer key. We are happy to share that Mikey passed his Regents exams. Mikey had a personal goal to stand and shoot a basketball before he left Helen Hayes Hospital. And this was a challenge in and of itself at 6 feet 7 inches tall, as Christina had stated. But he met that goal on the basketball courts with the staff by his side. Mikey has a passion to make people smile and have fun wherever he goes. He has a second chance at life, and he made his best out of his 9-month rehabilitation stay. Mikey, you made your mark on everyone in the hospital, and you will never be forgotten. You inspired all of us during your stay at Helen Hayes Hospital, and you continue to inspire us every day. You have become a part of the Helen Hayes Hospital family, and you have a special place in our hearts. You are so deserving of the Helen Hayes MacArthur Rose Award. You exemplify everything that Helen Hayes represented. It is with such an honor to present this prestigious award to you. We are so proud of you. Congratulations.
There you go. There you go. Get on the ball court, man.
So Michael would like to say some words. He's not as outgoing as everybody thinks. He's got the stage right. But first and foremost, I want to be around how much I love you. And how I love everything you've come through. You're my hero.
Oh.
So this is what Michael wanted to say. Thank you all for this honor. I am humbled and proud by this award. I've worked very hard to get where I am today, but I did not do it alone. I had the best doctors, nurses, aides, and most importantly, the very best therapists here at Helen Hayes. I thank you all so very much for all of your compassion, patience, dedication in a field where sometimes it can be thankless. You all as a team come together to help give someone back their family member, and from what my mom said, they did an exceptional job. Without the care from Helen Hayes and the support of my family, I'm not sure if I could have made it this far. You are all my biggest fans. I will never, ever forget my time here, even if it was longer than expected. Thank you all again.
Our next award is our Medal of Independence, which will be awarded to 3 patients. This award is reserved for patients who have overcome a catastrophic disabling injury or illness. Our first Medal of Independence will be presented by Elizabeth Russo and Nadia Moser from our outpatient neuro department.
Good afternoon. I just want to say Andres wanted to be here, but he couldn't make it, so he wanted to be very heavily. So, Kaylin, we are pleased to present Kaylin Fuentes with the Medal of Independence. Kaylin was working in the city as a full-time nanny and enjoying an outgoing life when a sudden brain tumor surgery caused a stroke in her brain in July of 2022. She was left paralyzed on her right side, dependent on a wheelchair, and lost most of her speech and ability to find simple words. She was transferred from Columbia to Helen Hayes Hospital on July 15th of last year, where she received intensive inpatient OT, PT, and speech therapy. There, she started to gain initial movement back in her right arm, but still required assistance with dressing and other functional activities. She had to learn how to do things one-handed. She spoke in simple sentences with effort and struggled, oftentimes with tears. When she was discharged home 3 months later, she was walking with a brace and a cane. She then began her outpatient journey with OT, PT and speech services, commuting over an hour and a half each way, rarely missing an appointment. Kaylin demonstrated fearless strength throughout her rehabilitation. Her determination and willingness to never give up, along with the excellent care she received, allowed her to use her right arm, walk unassisted, and speak independently in conversation. She can now smile, laugh, tell stories, and even good jokes with ease and joy. Not only did Kaylin work hard at therapy, but she was working twice as hard at home, incorporating her right hand into everything she did, exercising, and even hiking to get her body back to working again. She exceeded all expectations and can now write with her dominant hand, cook, lift weights, run, and even drive. What stands out most about Kaylin is her positive attitude and her trust in her therapist throughout her course of therapy. When faced with challenges in outpatient therapy, she would refer back to when she first began her recovery process to gain perspective on how far she had come, showing appreciation and deep insight in the face of adversity. Nothing stopped her from working hard every day to better herself. Kaylin's level of independence now, following this tragic event, is all because of her perseverance, her strength of heart, and her positivity. Her hard work and resiliency are an inspiration, and we are proud to name her a recipient of the Medal of Independence.
You go, girl.
I want to thank Helen Hayes and all of their nurses and staff for taking care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. The people that here are truly special. They actually go the extra miles for the patients. I want to give a special shout out to Andrea, Nadia, and Beth. Andrea taught me how to walk again. Nadia taught me how to talk again. And Beth taught me how to use my arm and fingers again. I want to give a thanks to my parents, because I wouldn't be anywhere where I am today. So, thank you.
Our second Medal of Independence Award will be presented by Erin Couture of our outpatient ortho department.
It is my honor to present Crystal Palenko with the Medal of Independence. Crystal is living with a rare genetic form of rickets, a condition that causes a softening and a weakening of the bones. Because of this condition, Crystal has suffered from multiple fractures and has had to undergo numerous surgeries throughout her life. I first met Crystal in August of 2022 when she came to Helen Hayes' outpatient orthopedic department after sustaining a femoral fracture that required surgery. Because of rickets, Crystal had incurred this injury simply by walking in her kitchen. As one could imagine, when I first met her, she was scared. At that time, Crystal was in a wheelchair and she was unable to walk independently. She was fearful of falling, of breaking another bone, and of needing another surgery. However, Crystal faced these fears with courage, strength, and resilience. I am reminded of the Mark Twain quote, "Courage is not the lack of fear, it is acting in spite of it." Crystal always did everything that she could to get better and to be stronger and more independent. Working with Crystal as her physical therapist was an absolute pleasure. She was always motivated and ready to work hard. She wanted to know what more she could do at home in order to get better and would always do whatever I asked or suggested. After Crystal healed from her femoral surgery, I continued to work with her for leg weakness and for her underlying condition of rickets. Crystal was a dedicated patient who made physical therapy a priority. Crystal is an inspiration because she does not let her condition hold her back. Even when she was in pain or suffered a setback, she showed resilience. She is literally the definition of falling and getting back up again. Her positive attitude played a huge role in her recovery. Crystal never uses her diagnosis as an excuse. She always worked hard to be the best mother to her son, to enjoy life, and to make positive contributions to her community. I remember the excitement that we shared when she was able to attend a concert with her family, and later when she was finishing therapy as she got a job helping others. Crystal required extensive rehabilitation in order to get to the level of independence she has today, but she did not let this long-term commitment deter her. I am so proud of all of the hard work that she has put in and how far she has come. There is no one who I can think of who is more deserving of this honor than she is. Congratulations, Crystal.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Aaron, and my whole treatment team, everyone at Outpatient Physical Therapy, for generally caring for me and helping me get through my recovery process successfully. Mrs. Aaron, I will never forget when I started coming here. I was in a wheelchair, so afraid to walk. I thought I would never walk again. Thanks for your motivation and support. You were my best ally during the darkest year of my life. You held my hand until the end. When you saw I was ready to fly without fear again. I am forever grateful for you, for Ada, Barbara, Payal, and all of you guys who were so important to me in this journey. I love you all. Thank you, Mrs.
Our final Medal of Independence Award will be presented by Carl Holstrom, Christine Bronson, and Danielle Jean Francois from the Brain Injury Unit.
Imagine waking up in an unfamiliar room without any idea how you arrived there. Imagine in that moment realizing that you cannot speak, you cannot move, and you have several tubes inserted in your body, and no one familiar is in sight. Now imagine you must confront this reality day after day. This was the case for one of the most resilient and memorable patients I have had the pleasure of working with, Kadeem Smikle. At 28 years old, Kadeem was a young professional with an active family and social life when his world came to a halt in September 2022. Kadeem was riding his motorcycle when a driver switched lanes, colliding with his bike and ejecting Kadeem from his seat. In addition to multiple rib fractures, spinal ligament injury, pneumothorax, and significant abrasions, Kadeem experienced severe diffuse axonal injury, a type of injury that occurs when the brain is abruptly shifted and rotated within the skull, shearing the nerve fibers in the process. Kadeem underwent an emergent craniotomy, removing a portion of his skull to relieve swelling of the brain. Over the next several weeks, Kadeem was stabilized with chest tubes, feeding tubes, cooling blankets, and a tracheotomy tube, all while he remained in a coma. When Kadeem arrived at Helen Hayes Hospital on October 27th, he had begun to emerge from that coma. He was beginning to follow some basic commands and move the right side of his body, but remained otherwise immobile. This was the condition in which we received Kadeem Smikle. Slowly, as many patients do, Kadeem began to form words and speak, allowing for the removal of his tracheotomy tube. He began eating, moving around more, and trying to understand what he had been through and how he would recover. I can remember in our first conversations, Kadeem struggled to recall his age or his job, but spoke warmly of his family and close friends. As Kadeem gradually and deliberately became more mobile, he began standing and taking his first steps. He began to groom and feed himself with less assistance, but a challenge that persisted was the profound change to Kadeem's short-term memory. Even after several months of intensive rehabilitation, Kadeem struggled to recall newly learned information for more than 1 minute at a time. This meant that on a minute-to-minute basis, Kadeem would need to be reminded of where he was, why he was here, and what he was meant to do. As therapists, we ask for an immense amount of trust from all of our patients, faith in our abilities as clinicians that we will guide them towards recovery safely and efficiently. To this day, I struggle to understand how Kadeem chose to trust his rehab team when every session felt like he was meeting us for the first time. I cannot fathom the trauma of confronting the reality of his accident and current circumstances over and over every day for months. His shock and concern were palpable every time we had to remind him. But somehow, Kadeem managed to put his confidence in us at the forefront and made every therapy session count. Eventually, while he struggled to recall our names or specific roles in his recovery, he knew that together we were successfully overcoming the many obstacles that he faced. Kadeem would be visibly relieved to see each of us enter his room, telling us he knew he was in the right place when he saw us, and together we would slowly start to put the pieces of his life back together. Kadeem's recovery was aided greatly by the loving relationships he had fostered with his family and his friends prior to the accident. I will never forget the conversations I had with Kadeem's mother, Sharon, or how she took every suggestion we mentioned to make Kadeem feel safe and secure. She hung his work uniform on the wall in his room to remind him of his job. There were pictures and Bible quotes and a calendar that had at least one visitor scheduled for every day that Kadeem was here. Through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year, Kadeem remained focused and determined, uplifted by his family, friends, and faith. At 28 years old, Kadeem was one of the youngest patients on our brain injury unit, but he still managed to connect with patients younger than himself, acting as a friend and mentor. At a time when many people would withdraw and turn their anguish inward, Kadeem focused on how his experiences might be helpful to others and had a meaningful impact on the patients he encountered. When Kadeem was discharged to his home in early March of this year, he did so walking with a walker and minimal assistance and was completing his daily grooming and dressing with near independence. He also knew all of our names, the name of the hospital, and had an intimate understanding of what he had been through and how he had managed to make the progress that he did. It is Kadeem's patience, trust, and incredible grit that makes him the perfect candidate for Helen Hayes Hospital's Medal of Independence. Against so many odds and with an incredible support system behind him, Kadeem exceeded our expectations in every way. He managed to do so with grace, maturity, and gratitude, which are qualities that can be so difficult to come by under the circumstances in which we meet our patients. Kadeem, we're so proud of you, so happy for you, and we're sure that we will continue to defy the odds and create an amazing future for yourself.
I had a whole speech written.
Speak from the heart.
I don't even know what I can say right now. It's just that I came a long way, man, and I got so much support from my family and friends, and the therapist, and my boy Carl. It's just amazing. Like I really don't even know what to say. I want to thank the doctors here, the therapists, my friends, my family. Just everybody who supported me during this process. And I'm still going through it, and I'm still getting the same support. And it's amazing because God really has me on his side. He does. Really does. My boy! And you know I had to shout them out, guys. Really, just thank you, thank you, thank you. big speech.
You did great.
Thank you. That's all, guys. You going to bed, right?
Two shots, guys.
Oh, no. Maybe get a tear in my eye first. All right, let's go.
That's it. Great.
My boy.
Our next award, Continuing Care Cup, recognizes an individual who has benefited from ongoing therapies and specialty services, and who has exhibited a commitment to continue rehab. This award will be presented by Janine, Reggie, Sarah Dennis, and Diane Conti from our spinal cord unit.
We are honored to present the Continuing Care Cup to Mark Blau, a man whose unwavering determination and resilience inspires us all. In January of 2023, Mark experienced a sudden onset of back pain and weakness in his lower extremities. An MRI revealed severe spinal canal stenosis in his lumbar spine, and repeat imaging showed a spinal cord injury affecting his ventral motor nerve roots. He was ultimately diagnosed with T11 paraplegia due to a spinal cord infarct. With a prior history of lower back pain and surgery, Mark's situation was even more complicated, but he was determined to overcome every obstacle so he could return to his role as a stay-at-home dad to his 4 amazing children. In February of 2023, Mark was admitted to Helen Hayes Hospital for medical management and rehabilitation related to his new onset of paraplegia. Initially, he faced significant challenges, requiring assistance for even basic movements. Profound weakness in his lower extremities left him unable to walk, and he relied on a wheelchair for mobility. Despite the uncertainty of whether he would regain strength in his legs, he remained hopeful. He embarked on his rehabilitation journey with unrelenting motivation, often asking, "Can I try that again?" His hard work and dedication were evident in every therapy session. Mark was determined to make the most out of his therapy sessions, and he didn't stop there. He diligently worked on exercises and homework on his own time to hasten his return home to his wife and children. Throughout his stay at Helen Hayes, Mark's unwavering determination was a source of inspiration to all. He focused on mastering wheelchair transfers and mobility without dwelling on the fact that he couldn't walk. Any private moments of doubt he may have had did not deter him. With his deep family connections, strong work ethic, and faith, he continued to push his limits.
Slowly, but steadily, Mark's legs began to show signs of motor recovery. Achieving upright standing initially required the support of 3 people, but with custom fabricated bracing from the prosthetics and orthotics department, he could stand more independently. By the time of his discharge, Mark could transfer to and from his wheelchair independently and take a few steps with the help of his braces and a rolling walker. And he was determined to continue to make progress throughout outpatient therapy. His transition home was not without challenges, though, but he took every possible step to set himself up for success, including a ramp that was going to be for his parents, because they were going to be in the same house. He and his wife came up with a creative solution for showering using a local hotel and humorously branded these date nights. He committed himself wholeheartedly to his outpatient program and even joined the Wellness Center here at Helen Hayes for additional exercise. Mark's mindset throughout his journey was about doing everything in his power to improve his situation. He embraced every challenge, put forth maximum effort, often requiring therapists to toss him a towel to wipe his sweat and to enforce rest breaks. He didn't know if his hard work would lead to upright mobility, but he remained steadfast in his determination. Mark, your story exemplifies the power of the human spirit, the strength of family bonds, and the importance of unwavering determination. Today, we honor you for your extraordinary courage, resilience, and commitment to achieving the best possible outcome in the face of adversity. It is with great pride that we present you with the Continuing Care Cup. Congratulations.
I'd just like to say thank you, ladies, and everybody that touched my heart and helped me so much. Everybody means so much to me. In a dark time of my life, you were there for me. It's awesome. This place is amazing. Everybody's so nice. So nice. I hope you all stay. You help so many people, and you touched my life on every. Thank you.
Our final award, the Spirit of Achievement Award, is presented to a patient who, despite overwhelming odds, has demonstrated outstanding courage and determination and has excelled in their rehab program. This honoree embodies the spirit of our hospital and is an enormous inspiration to all of us. This award will be presented by Christina Gray, Tara DeRosa, Yvette Torres, and Melinda Newman from our brain injury unit.
Hi, everyone. So, the Helen Hayes Hospital Spirit of Achievement Award is the highest honor and is presented to the patient who, despite overwhelming odds and challenging circumstances, demonstrates outstanding courage and determination, excels in his or her rehabilitation program. The awardee personifies the attitude, spirit, and resolve that continues rehabilitation medicine, and Catherine has exemplified all characteristics of this award. On July 11, 2022, while Catherine was on vacation with her family in Greece, she was found to have a subarachnoid hemorrhage, sorry, I knew I was going to get that wrong, secondary to a left periglenoid aneurysm. On August 9, 2022, the day her aneurysm was coiled, she also found out she tested positive for COVID. Catherine was transferred from the hospital in Greece to Westchester Medical Center, where she was found to have a new subarachnoid hemorrhage, which left her with hemiplegia. On August 19, 2022, there was another rupture and a second recoiling was completed. She then developed hydrocephalus and required a VP shunt. This left Catherine to be dependent in almost everything, as well as being paralyzed on the left side of her body, despite some slight movements in her fingers.
When Catherine was admitted to Helen Hayes Hospital on August 29, 2022, she was very confused, insightless, restless, and fidgety. She had extremely slow processing speed and had a severe inattention to her left side, to the point that she was unaware of the entire left side of her body. Her memory was poor at the beginning stages of her rehab, and each therapist had to constantly and repetitiously reorient Catherine to where she was, why she was here, and who her therapists were. Catherine was also left blind in the bottom portion of one eye, which was unable to be detected until later in her stay, when she gained enough attention to complete visual testing. Throughout Catherine's time at Helen Hayes Hospital, she made incredible progress, all while being isolated in her room secondary to infection control purposes. Each day, she would surprise her therapist as well as herself with new movement in both her arm and leg. When Catherine was relearning how to walk, her physical therapist had her casted for a brace that would support her ankle. But by the time the brace was given to Catherine, the strength in her leg improved so much that she no longer needed the brace at all. She also started using a complex therapy binder that was diligently exhausted every session for organization, executive functioning, recall, orientation, and multitasking skills. She used this book like her Bible, recording all necessary information throughout her day. Catherine never complained, no matter what the challenge was that was thrown at her. She did exactly as she was instructed and worked to her fullest potential each and every session. She was very dedicated to her rehabilitation and would complete daily homework assignments, making any necessary corrections to perfection. Catherine was truly motivated to go home, be with her family, and ultimately return to her job. When Catherine was discharged home on November 2nd, 2022, she was following all cognitive and left inattention strategies and was incorporating them into her daily activities. She was able to complete all dressing and showering tasks with supervision. She was using a walker to walk and had full range of motion and strength in both her arms and her legs. You would have never known that just a few short months before, she was paralyzed on one side of her body. Catherine's journey was not over once she left Helen Hayes. She needed to get another brain surgery and continued with outpatient therapy services. Catherine has also stayed in touch with her therapist since returning home and continued to show strong initiation to improve not only her physical self, but also her mental health. Catherine's goal from the very first day of meeting her was that she wanted to be able to return to work. With Catherine's hard work, she did eventually return to work at her job as an auditor for Pfizer. Catherine, we cannot think of anyone more deserving of the Helen Hayes Hospital Spirit of Achievement Award. It has been an honor to see your hard work and dedication pay off to reach all your goals. We are so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you to everybody on this team. This hospital is a blessing for society. I couldn't have done this without all of you. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything.
Please join me in one more round of applause for all of our honorees. Congratulations, and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to celebrate with you and your loved ones today. So thank you for coming, and please join us for refreshments in the Noise Conference Center towards the entrance of the hospital. Thank you again.